Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Please accept my humble obeisance to Sri Srila Prabhupada. Welcome devotees to today's Bhagavatam class. I apologize for cutting off Kadamba Kanana Swami's kirtan. We can hear it all day long, and we were all enjoying it. But at the same time, I don't want to disrespect devotees for the purpose of this call. So thank you all for enjoying it. And I was thinking that, that we pray that that Kadamba Kanana Swami's kirtan will go on forever and live forever. It's such a beautiful one. And today we'll be discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 16, verse 19. The chapter is entitled How Maharaj Parikshit Received the Age of Kali. And we are just getting into the discussion between Dharma, the bull, when he saw the cow weeping and crying. And we're very happy to have His Holiness Chandramauli Swami with us. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisance. All goes to you and Prabhupada. And it's so good to see you without hats and coats, Maharaj. You're not cold like what you were last week.
Well, the weather's not changed much. It's just that the heating system works. Yeah, we got some heat.
We're just happy to see you this way, Maharaj, than what it was last week.
Yeah, it's heat. The heat is here, and we're feeling really neat, and everything else is sweet. So now we meet, and then we get into Srimad Bhagavatam treat.
Haribol, Maharaj, and it's all yours, Maharaj.
And this cannot be beat.
This is going to be a very nice poem. We should write this down before someone forgets it. Where's Raj Prabhu? He's very good at the stuff like this.
Yeah, it can't be beaten. Since it can't be beat, then we go on and do it. All right, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 16, verse number 19. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Dharma Uvacha Kaschin Badre Niyayam Atmanastem Vichasi Vidyate Sammukhena Alaksaye Bhagavate Mataradim Dure Badhum Sochasi Kanchanam Va. Translation: Dharma, in the form of a bull, asks, Madam, are you not hale and hearty? Why are you covered with the shadow of grief? It appears by your face that you've become black. Are you suffering from some internal disease? Or are you thinking of some relative who was away in a distant place? Purport. The people of the world in this age of Kali are always full of anxieties. Everyone is diseased with some kind of ailment. From the very faces of the people of this age, one can find out the index of the mind. Everyone feels the absence of his relatives who is away from home. A particular symptom of the age of Kali is no family is now blessed to live together. To earn a livelihood, the father lives at a place far away from the son, the wife lives far away from the husband, and so on. There are sufferings from internal diseases, separations from those dear and near, and anxieties for maintaining the status quo. These are but some important factors which make the people of this age always unhappy. Chakshu Indalitam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Om Brahmani Pacharine. Evasesa Sunyavari Pastyatya Satarine. Panchakalpa Tarubhishcha Kripa Sindhu Bhayavacha Vitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Rama. So Kali Yuga, the age of quarrel, the age of lying, the age of hypocrisy, the age of innumerable deficiencies, human and social, political, economic, national, international, communal, aesthetic, and even spiritual. Now, this is a difficult age, and people are victimized by the age. But although they are victimized, they don't know actually how to get out of that. And there is a way out. And it says, Kaler dosha nidhi rajan asti eku mahagun, kirtana eva krishnasya mukta sangam param bhajet. Yeah, kalo dir dosha nidhi. Nidhi means ocean. And dosha means fault. So the listings of the faults in this age are numerous. And people are afflicted by many of them, and sometimes so many of them that they are virtually suicidal. I was just in India. I was talking to a very nice girl in the university. She was telling me one of the university students just recently jumped from a building and committed suicide. And this is in India. These are young people now growing up in the so-called culture of the West and being exposed to all of the values and no longer able to understand the value of their previous culture. They have adopted this westernized lifestyle and accepted all of the deficiencies that come with that Western style, which means really a sense of loneliness and a sense of frustration due to trying to achieve so many things have been placed upon them by both family and by society. So this is the age is very difficult. No one's happy, everyone's suffering. As Prabhupada says, in this age, people are full of anxieties. Prabhupada wrote this more than 50 years ago, and the anxiety level has reached an alarming proportion. So that at any time you find there's always quarrels, misunderstandings, wrong understandings, separations from friends, others, and fear of so many elements in society, such as thieves, dacoits, rogues, and others. And there are, if you read the 12th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it lists so many anomalies that somehow people are subjected to. They're always unhappy because they accept the values of this society as being the means by which they can get out of this suffering. But it's like a statement is that you've drank some poison by mistake. Say you picked up a bottle in your medicine cabinet, and you thought it was some kind of throat gargle, but it was iodine, and so you drank it. So you're looking for something to neutralize the poison, and you pick up another bottle of formaldehyde, and you drink that, and you would simply exasperated the suffering. So this is the people are suffering, and they try to look for some antidote, and the antidote is just more suffering. So that is the way of Kali Yuga. And the advertising program in Kali Yuga is the feature by which people get sucked into some kinds of false ideas on how to become successful in life, by gaining so many things. Advertising, commercials on various media, especially television, and other forms of attraction for people to somehow or other buy something that they don't need, although they are convinced they need it simply by the advertising. Then they find themselves again, they're struggling, suffering. There is a particular, of course, we all heard that there is when a person gets so much intoxicated, sometimes they have to go to some relief program, and they have this thing called, what is it called? Alcoholics Anonymous. And then they have, what is it called? In Alcoholics Anonymous, Drugs Anonymous, this kind of thing. And so they have this one now is called, what is it? Shoppers Anonymous, where people buy so much they can't pay the bills. And then they wind up, getting into large amounts of debts. They become addicted to shopping. I actually have a written article published in the newspaper that explains that there are people who go out during their lunch break from their work. Mostly it's the female class, and go out and buy things. And they buy. They run up big bills on their credit card. And then they can't pay it, and then they have to go into debt, and sometimes they declare bankruptcy. And so they have created this agency called Shoppers Anonymous, people who shop too much. Plus there's also called another society called Overeaters Anonymous, people eat too much. They get anorexia and various other types of diseases, sicknesses. And there's another one called Sex Anonymous, where people they're so addicted to sex, and like a pigeon. A pigeon can have sex at 60 times in an hour. The human body is not equipped for that type of exercise, but they look for any opportunity they can to fulfill that desire. Then they have porno shops and so many things to somehow or other try to fulfill that lusty desire, which is never fulfilled. It's always burning more and more. So this particular time in Kali Yuga, and they will consider to, they also will also get worse and worse as time goes on. And people are harassed in so many ways, by inclement weather, by wrong decisions. And here it says that people miss their relatives. There was a survey that was taken a few years ago, and says that if you can do three things, you can actually find some happiness in your daily life. One, and these three things are kind of like a negative thing. One is that if you don't have to travel to work in order to work. In other words, if you don't have to travel in order to do your occupation. In India, you see the trains are full. People are hanging out the sides of the trains, going to work every day, and sometimes they fall off. And we see the highways and byways in the Western countries are filled with cars. You can't travel sometimes. It's more like a parking lot when you're trying to get into the traffic. You sit there for hours, sometimes not even moving. And so if you don't have to travel to work, if you don't have any debts, and people are always running up debts on their credit cards or in different ways, and if you can eat home-cooked food. So it says if you can eat home-cooked food, don't have any debts, don't have to travel to work, you generally can find life is somewhat nice. But the average person, especially in the United States of America, eats home once a week, usually on the Sunday. Throughout the rest of the week, they're in restaurants, running here and there, getting a quick meal, and then running back to their workplace. Or they just don't want to cook. It takes too much time, so just go to the restaurant. Eating restaurant food is not healthy. Generally, even if it's the food you like. So yeah, this is the age of Kali. We live in the wrong way. Instead of simple living, we live very licentiously, voraciously. We're running around here and there doing so many things, trying to maintain whatever we start and trying to proliferate whatever we want to do and to gain more. And society, this is Kali Yuga. And therefore, people, it says in the statistics by the World Health Organization explains that, a large part of the world's population suffers from mental diseases, such as schizophrenia, depression, various forms of mental anxieties, loneliness, and various other things. So this is Kali Yuga. So therefore, Kalir Dosha Nidhi, there is one way out of the Kali Yuga, and that is to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra seriously and steadily each and every day. Because that's the bright light, or the means by which one can exit the frustrations that come by way of living in this age. But better to change your lifestyle and live more simply, and chant Hare Krishna also, because in order to chant Hare Krishna nicely, you have to live in such a way that you have sufficient time and an atmosphere for chanting. So ultimately, a more simple lifestyle is actually conducive to both health, wealth, and welfare. This particular year that's upcoming is going to be a little bit of more of a challenge to people, especially on the health level. This is being predicted by the astrologers. Anyway, I don't want to create any fear in anybody's mind, but one should be very attentive to their health, especially this year. There are going to be more health challenges, especially for the devotees and for people in general. This is an astrological prediction that is being spoken about in different circles right now. So, because as society becomes more and more materialistic, anxiety increases, and there are three causes of bad health, or what we say deficient health, and that is anxiety, overeating, and uncleanliness. So people get very much sick because of anxiety. So stay free from anxiety, chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. By chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we can keep away the effects of Kali Yuga. Lord Chaitanya has given the formula. Kali Yuga Pavana, Kali Boyanasana, Sri Satchinandana Namre. By worshiping Lord Chaitanya, we take up the process of Harinam Sankirtan, Japa Kirtan, and then Kali goes far away. Kali cannot enter into the atmosphere of Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. He has to stay very far away from that. So, therefore, even if you live at home, you should invite friends and relatives or others to come to your home every night, or go to another person's home every night and do kirtan, 1 or 2 hours together with a group of devotees. It's not that we have to work so hard or during the day and come back, eat, and then fall down and go to sleep. Take up some kirtan and chant with friends and relatives and experience some nice Krishna consciousness. If it's not possible for you to go to the temple, then go then and arrange some kirtans in your home. You know, it's recommended devotees have kirtan every night, no matter where you are, no matter where you are living. So do it in the temple if it's not available there, or you know. And it's a wonderful way to end the day. Have kirtan, and then at the very end, speak a little bit of some philosophy, something from Bhagavatam, something from Mahabharata or Ramayana, or Bhagavad Gita, and take a little light prasadam, and end the day in a very sublime and spiritual consciousness. Yeah. We can't complain about the age of Kali, that is so bad, because the formulas for counteracting the age of Kali have been given to us by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is not only a counteracting, it is a joyful process to come together with devotees and sing and dance, yeah, or at least have a little bhajan, some prasadam, and worship the Lord if you have devotees in the hand like that. Very nice. It's very recommended. And that if you have to somehow or other associate with the external energy all day, and then with external energy, with people who are of the same nature, come back and get that relief and uplift and Hari Om Sankirtan. You can't find people to come, then do it within your own little family there. 3, 4, 5 people can do it. This is a practical thing. Anyone can do it. But nowadays, families are so diverse that everybody's got their own schedule. Nobody's together at the same time in the house. The house is too small for everybody to be there at the same time. So nobody wants to be there at the same time when somebody else is there. They arrange their schedules like that. So, yeah, but that's not Krishna consciousness, nor is it a way to find the satisfaction. So, the formula is there: chant, read some books, take some really Krishna prasadam, end your day like that every day. Begin your morning like that in the morning, with some chanting, some reading. Go on to what you do your daily activities. If you have to maintain family and an occupation, do that. But it's not like we have to act in such a way as that we're so tired when we come back at night. We can't. All we want to do is sleep and maybe just watch some video or something. Anyway, this is Kali Yuga. Therefore, it's an age where everything is being challenged: one's spirituality, one's health, one's values, one's morality. Everything is being challenged by this very degraded age. And so the formula is sadhu sangha, coming together with devotees, chanting the holy name, and becoming free from the effects of Kali, and actually enjoying the association of others by glorifying the Lord and hearing wonderful activities of the all-powerful Supreme Personality of Godhead. If one does that regularly, they can actually attain to the stage of eternal life, and they're going back home, back to Godhead, which is the actual goal of true spiritual practice. It's to free oneself from the cycle of birth, death, disease, and old age. The Prabhupada was speaking this morning, and I was listening. He was saying, people can't understand that you can be free from disease, you can be free from old age. But there is a process, there's the process of bhakti, which takes one beyond the three modes of material energy into the eternal realm of a life that is centered around glorification and service to the Supreme One. So don't be too busy with material life and think that whatever success you're getting is actually success. Because whatever you achieve materially is temporary and it cannot guarantee any types of satisfaction or happiness. People want to be happy, so they make so many programs to become happy. And nobody's happy because their programs are not in line with the nature of what is happiness. But devotees have the formula. Is to satam prasangam namasidriya sambigo, Bhakti with karma aside. Chant and dance, talk about Krishna, and associate with others in a very friendly and a very joyful atmosphere. And once you start doing that on a regular basis, you'll understand the Kali Yuga doesn't exist for you. It's there, but it doesn't touch you. We can be free from the effects of Kali Yuga simply by absorbing ourselves in Sravanam Kirtanam Krishna Smaranam. And here, Dharma, which is now a bull, is approaching the cow, and they're addressing the cow as madam, as the cow is a she, and he sees that the cow is no longer happy. The cow represents Mother Earth, because Mother Earth now is starting to become burdened with sinful people. And unfortunately, the governments of the world don't know how to rid the world. They talk about getting free from crime. Just like when Srila Prabhupada was here. Prabhupada was traveling from Dallas to Chicago by plane. And he was given a Time magazine. And he said, crime was crime, what to do, how to solve the crime, rid of crime. It was posted as the question within the article. What is the solution? What is the problem of crime? Prabhupada gets so interested in that when he came to Chicago, there was an arrangement with both the mayor of Chicago and the police chief, Lieutenant Mosley. You can hear that discussion with Lieutenant Mosley. And Prabhupada is telling, here's the way to be free from crime. He said, you just give us a building, and every day we will have kirtan and distribute prasadam to everyone, free of charge. You simply supply everything we need. And after some time, when people take prasadam and chanting the Hare Krishna, you'll see that there'll be less and less and finally no more crime. But they couldn't somehow or other understand how, from the practical point of view, singing and dancing the glories of the Lord, the names of the Lord, and eating nice food that would stop crime. And Prabhupada said, we can do it. You just give us the facility, and we'll do it everywhere in your city, and the city will become free from crime. And of course, they were respectful and very interested, but at the same time, nothing changed. So people don't really understand the power of this Hare Krishna movement. It can purify the entire world and bring Vaikuntha. Sometimes devotees struggle so much. The reason why we struggle so much as devotees because we don't hear and chant the glories of the Lord sufficiently in the association with others. The more we do that, the Kali Yuga runs away. It's like it never exists. We actually bring in Satya Yuga within our own life and within our own consciousness through this process. So yeah, all of the anomalies in this age are really symptomatic of the age, but at the same time, there is a formula to get rid of those anomalies, and that is Harinam Sankirtan and Krishna Prashadam. These two formulas in the holy name and Krishna Prashadam. Philosophy is also there, but the two foremost ones are Krishna Prashadam and the holy name. And this can purify anyone who takes it up in a regular way. Okay, so and then Mother Earth, she's suffering so much because of her being exploited by people who are avaricious for sense gratification. Just like now, the Earth is only, you see that the calamities that go on around the world, the natural disasters, such as forest fires, tidal waves, droughts, famines, various types of inclement weather and all. These are all due to the exploitation of the earth. And the earth reacts in the form of giving the living entities on the earth sufferings due to the fact that they mistreat the earth because earth is one of the mothers. She's in the form of a cow, yeah, but actually cow is also considered mother. Earth is also considered mother because both are providers for the living entities. The living entities get provided for everything they need in terms of their material body from the earth. The earth is actually mother. She provides food, she provides water, she provides fresh air, she provides places where you can find peace and happiness. She provides everything, and she also provides medicine in the form of herbs. All of everything is there in the earth. But when people exploit and rape the earth for sense gratification in the form of excess profit, then the earth is a living being, and she will react. Just like we have the example in the Shastras that there was one king called Vena, and he was such a malicious king that he stopped all Vedic sacrifices and was harassing the population so much that the Brahmins decided to do something. The Brahmins in those days were quite powerful, so they chanted mantras and they killed the king. And they turned his body, and out of the body came two persons. One is called Nisheda. He was an expansion of the sinful activities. And another person came, and that was Prithu Maharaj, which was an incarnation that came and eventually took the position of king. And when he took the position of king, he saw how people on the earth were not getting what they needed. The earth was withholding all of her bounty due to the sinful activities of King Vena. And so he started performing sacrifices and petitioned the earth, and she agreed, and after some time, everything again was being provided. The earth can provide, as Srila Prabhupada said, enough food and whatever everyone needs for 10 times the population. There's this philosophy that goes on. It's not a philosophy, it's somebody's created ideas. There's actually one economist, a British economist, his name was Thomas Malthus. He lived around the year 1800s, beginning of the 1800s. And his theory was that there's too many people on the earth, And in order for the earth to not to be exploited or to have enough food and amenities for people, population should not be big. So his theory was war, disease, and pestilence needs to be there every once in a while to reduce the population of the earth. Prabhupada took issue with his statements, talked about it also. He said there's not too many people on the earth. The earth can provide 10 times as much if people are pious, not to speak about being Krishna conscious. If it's Krishna conscious, then there will be plenty more than people can actually take. But if people are pious, they will have everything they need. If people are not pious, they're mostly in the modes of passion and ignorance, working hard for material gain, or committing various types of sinful activities in order to satisfy their lusty desires. And so, Prabhupada's statement was, yeah, the earth can provide 10 times the population that it is now. We have almost a population of 8 billion people, and even now some of the plan makers who are in powerful positions in society are talking that we have to come up with plans to reduce the population. They're talking about that, and they're also enacting certain things in order to reduce the population. That's a whole nother story. But that's a false understanding, because God, through material nature, is sufficiently able to provide everything for millions, billions of people, way beyond the numbers we have now, if people take up spiritual life, or if they at least live a pious and somewhat religious life, following standard morality and civility. But that's not there. It's not there. Therefore, it appears to be shortages. And of course, there is a section of the population who is very intelligent about getting as much as they can, and they take as much as they can from Earth, and there's a shortages for many of the rest of the population. I read a statistic just recently: 90% of the resources are owned and controlled by 2% of the world's population. Quite a dichotomy. The other 98% of the population has only access to 10% of the resources. And therefore, there's a competition always for gaining more. So this is Kali Yuga. Don't expect the atmosphere to change much. Change your own atmosphere, and then the atmosphere will change. And that means that we need to take shelter more and more of the association of devotees, chant the holy names of the Lord, and worship the Lord in different ways. And for the devotees, the Lord will provide everything. He will also provide protection from the effects of Kali Yuga, both physical, mental, and spiritual. He will give protection. Always Krishna. He's very eager to protect his devotees who take shelter of him in the form of devotional activity. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Marge, for such a wonderful class and helping us to see how to not get caught up in this material world that's full of anxieties. I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to request devotees to please do show your videos when possible, if you're able to, so that we can see each other and take each other's association. And if anyone has any questions, any comments, please do raise your hand. We got about 29 participants, and I want to make sure that I do, get in line with everyone. So please do raise your hand so I can call upon you in the order that we see it. Marge, you would in Srila Prabhupada was using the word that anxieties in status quo, and sometimes I come across devotee families where especially with the children, with the youth, they get so caught up in trying to push the children, which, to get to a certain status quo. And at the same time, they don't do that so much to encourage the children to develop Krishna consciousness, and the kids have a desire to do that. How can the parents really see the balance between, okay, they're going to school, great, but give that same importance and push in Krishna consciousness? Somehow I feel that they are afraid that once they get into Krishna consciousness, they're going to lose taste in education or something. I mean, I tend to see that imbalance.
Well, since you're in the position of observing those persons who come to the temple, it's obvious for you that a lot of these things are happening, especially within the diaspora of the Indian culture within the West, because people who are Indian in the West, many of them come to the West, they leave India in order to further economic gain. And they push that on to their family members also. And that this is what we're here for, is to get a nice material situation, which is not unnecessarily always going to happen. So their motivation is, to increase material. And because they have Sukriti, it becomes quite easy for them to become successful materially. I mean, they're destined somewhat by their previous activities because of piety, because it says, Dharma leads to Artha, and Artha leads to Kama. So like that. So through previous pious activities, they have facilities for economic gain. And then economic gain means up to a certain point, but beyond that, then it becomes karma, or sense gratification. So they see this as success. Although they may have some inclination to spirituality, they think that first is to establish yourself in the process of economic stability, and then also family stability. And then once you do all of that, then you may take up spiritual life. But they see that, but we understand that spiritual life is the most needed thing for everyone. If you postpone the most important thing, you might postpone it forever, or you might even miss it. So, because they're not focused on what is the real value of life, they have this false value system that get materially established, and then you can, become Krishna conscious or spiritually inclined later. But there's no question of later, because it may not happen because of the situations. Because whatever you emphasize, you bring about. So if you emphasize your material life, and you're inclined to those things, then you'll have more and more opportunities for material success, material activities. If you emphasize your spiritual life, you'll have more and more opportunities for that. So they don't see that there is that necessity. Although they're pious, they're coming to the temple, but they want their children to be somewhat materially situated. Is that correct? You see that, right? Because-
Yes, Marge, absolutely. And
Because-
then on one side, I see that the kids, and I see it more in the teenagers, the older ones, and they have the desire to want to give both equally, but they don't feel supported in the spiritual path so much so than they do in the material path. And that's the sad part. I see that in the youth, it's sad.
Yeah, yeah, because it says don't become father, don't become mother, don't become guru, don't become teacher unless you can just deliver your disciples from the cycle of birth and death. So there's a great responsibility of having children or being in a position of leadership unless you can bring those that you're leading to the goal of life. And one who fails to do that, they become implicated in the laws of material nature. That is a responsibility. They may not be even aware of the fact. But material life, with all of its glitter, is always somewhat attractive to one who wants to enjoy in this world. Material life is very diverse and very variegated, and it's presented in such a glittering way with many false promises of success. But
And
but the scriptures say, live simply and give enough time for chanting Hare Krishna. So where Prabhupada was, well, before he left, and even prior to that, he was talking about just build these farm communities, live in a more simplified atmosphere, grow your own food, develop Brahminical culture and cow protection, and live simply like Krishna lived. We think that's so outlandish and it's so primitive. How is it possible? I can't plug in my computer. Yes, you can. All of these things will be available even in that simple lifestyle. But what is different is that we depend on nature and God for everything, and not so much the external environment to provide for our needs. I see advertisements nowadays that people are freaking out because the government's doing this, the government's doing that, the government's not doing this. We're not going to have any power. We're not going to have any water. We're not going to have any food. We're not going to have any protection. This is the big news now. But devotees don't think like that because they don't depend on the government. They depend on Krishna. Depend on Krishna. He is in charge of the governments. He's the person that provides everything. He says, Aham Vidar Bhajar Pita. I am the seed-giving father of all living entities. And I also provide whatever is needed for the living entities through Mother Earth. That's all mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Anand Bhavanti Bhutani Parjanya Namasambhava. It explains that in the 3rd chapter. So they're all running around now talking about shortages and famines and all of these things, inflation, high prices. We don't care because we're not dependent on it. It's society. The more we become dependent on it, the more we become affected by what's going there. We're dependent on Krishna. And complete dependence on Krishna means to live according to Krishna's plan. And that's a more simplified lifestyle, which allows for the earth to provide everything you need. And when you depend on the earth to give you everything directly, it's much more healthier and natural because that is the way we're supposed to live. We're not supposed to live in these big boxes called apartments that are stacked up high. You can't even see the sky. You can't get enough fresh air. and and we're depending on electricity, Power goes out and then you're lost. So, yeah, we have to make sometimes a qualitative change in the way we live in order to somehow or other free ourselves from all of the unnecessary struggles that come by dependence simply on the material society for all of our needs. We're not meant to be dependent on others for our needs. God provides everything we need. Remember, our dependence is on nature. Nature is the instrument by which God provides everything we need. But the materialists, they exploit nature and then sell it back to you in the form of commodities. They're giving you the same thing, but in a more or less direct way. Not even the same thing, it's also changed. Just like if you need fertilizer in order to grow crops, you can put cow dung. Cow dung is the best fertilizer. You can fertilize your fields through cow dung, or the cows walk on the fields. Their hooves actually create a fertility within the soil. But now they push the cows out, and what do? They give these chemicals, pesticides, herbicides, and various types of chemicals, which they consider to be, to jack up the soil. And it lasts for a year or two, and then the soil becomes depleted of its nutrients. It becomes useless after a while. And then the food you grow in these societies are not even healthy. It's full of all of these different chemicals. So we have to understand this is Kali Yuga. It's not that the people who are in charge of the resources in society to provide for others are actually our well-wishers. They're not. They're just money grabbers. So I think of that.
I think, Marge, we tend to forget once we get so comfortable, in our own space, then we forget that we're in Kali Yuga because everything seems to be going just the way we plan until the rug gets pulled under us. Then we
Yeah,
realize, oops.
yeah, that's a false sense of comfort
Mhm. That's
because
sorry, Marge.
because if you're comfortable, then that means it'll be something that it will be stable. And when our so-called comfort is precarious,
Yeah.
go at any second, and then what you call as comfort is just some lifestyle that's been created.
Mm. So true, Marge.
Yeah,
Marge, that's a sorry.
we don't get enough fresh air. We don't get enough exercise. We don't get the proper food. All of these things are easily provided by nature. People have to go to gyms just to get healthy. And you have to have a gym, sign up for your gym, pay a yearly fee, and then you can lift some barbells and take some steam baths and jump on some these different, what do they call it, treadmills. Just go out for a walk. That's your treadmill. But you can't go out for a walk because the streets are so polluted, or the cars are just pushing, all kinds of soot into the air. India is going through turmoil with pollution. So bad, really horribly bad.
Actually, Marge, when we were in Mayapur last year, when we got there, in 4 days, Prikshit got such a bad cold. I mean, so bad. And we had to take him to the clinic. the Mayapur clinic that was close to the temple, and they said that he felt sick because of the pollution, and we were shocked because we never experienced it. So he was on antibiotics for like 10 days. Like they gave him like 6 kinds because he was so polluted because of the pollution. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, you take one problem and you give another problem. Antibiotics just suppress the symptoms, they don't cure anything. The antibiotic is to get out of the pollution. That's get back to some fresh air.
Yes, Marge, it was really bad. I've never seen him get sick from pollution. That was some interesting part for me.
Hey, I was in Delhi just last week and I couldn't travel in the morning because the fog was so thick. But the fog was a combination of the pollution and the fog together. The pollution actually thickened the fog's presence that people couldn't even drive. And every year they have big car pileups in Delhi. Cars just crash one into another because they can't see. It happens all the time.
That's different. That's difficult to differentiate between the fog, which is natural, and the pollution, which is not natural. They
Yeah.
blend. Wow. Marge, there's a nice comment here from Mother Badra where she said, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Marge, for a really nice class, and particularly emphasizing the point that by changing our own our own atmosphere and conciseness without worrying too much about situation around us, we in Satya Yuga, like we can in Satya Yuga. So that was a nice point she said.
Yeah,
And
can you read it again?
yes, Marge, she said, emphasizing the point that by changing our own atmosphere and conciseness without worrying too much about situation around us, like we can in Satya Yuga. That's what she put
We
here.
can be in Satya Yuga, and that's not conciseness, it's consciousness.
Oh, okay. Thank you for reading through the lines, Sri Devi.
What's the word?
Consciousness, she said.
Yeah.
She put concise, and I just read it as it is. Thank you for that help. Appreciate that, Sri Devi. But yes.
Okay. Then
And
that is correct. Yeah. But that's only
yeah, because I think Marge sometimes.
that's only
Yes,
up
Marge, please go ahead.
that's only up to a certain degree can you do that. But you can do it by satsang, by kirtan, by association, by eating only Krishna prasadam, cooked by devotees.
Thank you, Marge. Any other questions from devotees? Please do unmute yourself or raise your hand, and I'll be happy to call upon you. Seems to be a little quiet morning today. Want to make sure that everyone is paying attention and have some takeaways, or even if you have a takeaway that you would like to share that really resonated with you, like what Mother Badra did, that would also be really nice, so that at least because each of us can benefit from each other's takeaways, that we have realized from it. Marge, actually the point, yes, Sridevi, go ahead.
Thank you, Anasuya, for encouraging us like that. Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. My humble obeisances to everyone. This exactly what Bhadra Mataji was saying I experienced today. I was in the temple room, I was chanting a little bit, and many of the local visitors were just milling around, not knowing what to do. And a beautiful kirtan started by one Mataji. I was just somehow, Krishna's mercy, your mercy. I started dancing in the kirtan. And soon, one, two Matajis were looking at me. I said, come, come. And then they started dancing. When those two ladies joined me, all the others became so encouraged and enlivened They all joined in, and soon there were 25 ladies dancing in the temple room with big, big smiles on their faces. And then in the end, they were jumping up and down, saying, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. And I was just thinking, this is the most wonderful gift of today, that Harinam Sankirtan is uplifting everyone and making everyone so happy. If we just take that one step and just start dancing in Kirtan, people will follow and people will begin to have that same experience. So I was very blessed to have that experience. And it is exactly what you said. Without worrying about other things, we just immerse ourselves and then we can be in a totally different consciousness. So thank you for allowing me to share.
Hey, nice example. That's exactly what we're saying. It's available right on the spot. All you have, one person starts it, and then it starts to take off. Mhm.
And thank you for sharing that, Shridevi, because I was even really moved by Mother Bhadra's comment that, sometimes we depend on others to make the change for us, and we'll be waiting forever, to make the change. And we just got to take one step, and the magic happens, Krishna conscious magic happens. And we can do so much with the Lord's energy. So much. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Yes, Mother Sukavaha, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to assembled devotees. Guru Maharaj, it is really nice to have Kirtan, and as everyone mentioned, Kirtan is the best thing we can have it. But how to encourage people to join? Because I'm trying a lot to ask everybody to come, let's do some Kirtan, but so it's not quite successful at the moment. How do we encourage people to come and join us, or to organize at their house and we can go and join them?
Yeah, well, I would say I've seen that when devotees are doing kirtan, that energy has a tendency to attract others. So don't be so dependent. Have kirtan within a few people. If you keep doing it, you'll find it. Just like I'm here in South London right now. So we had kirtan the last 2 nights, and the first night, there was just about 5 or 6 of us. That's all. And then one other couple somehow or other heard about it, and they came. So they came, and then they came just because they wanted to be part of the kirtan. And then they came last night again for the second night. So yeah, it works like that. Just do the kirtan, and Krishna will send. People will become attracted. And you may make it known that you're doing this, but don't worry, they'll come or not come, but just do it. So just go ahead. You can have kirtan with 3 people that are very nice. All you need is 3 people for kirtan. But the more the better, of course.
Okay. Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
do it. That's all.
Okay.
People will come or not come, but you'll be happy.
Yeah, definitely.
That was a nice question, Sukava, because I'm sure, many struggle with that, trying to get devotees to join the Kirtan party.
Yeah, I organized on the New Year's Eve as well. Only few devotees turned up, but we had really nice time, must say that. As Guru Maharaj said, there were only few, but it was so nice. We continued till 1 o'clock in the morning, and it
Oh,
was amazing.
nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
that is the New Year's Kirtan. So it was good. Yeah,
That's really
yeah.
nice.
Guru Maharaj, yeah, I will continue definitely. Thank you.
Well, kirtan is always beneficial.
Yes, Sridevi, please go ahead.
I wanted to just encourage Sukhawa to keep going because, you know, in Gita Nagari, they started this New Year's Eve festival where they had kirtan. In the beginning, they were just, you know, the little children and the few parents and all. But when they did year after year after year after year, it snowballed. You know that. You know, the kids actually growing up before your eyes. I saw them growing up and getting better and better at piano and kirtan and so many different instruments and so on. So just doing it attracts that energy to do it again and again and again, and it just grows. And one day Sukawa will be saying, "Oh, I just began with 3 and now there are 300."
Amazing, amazing. Wish your words come true. Yeah, but thank you for encouragement, Devi. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing that. Yes. Any other questions from devotees that you would like to ask, you would like to share? Going down the list so I don't miss anybody. If let me check. Okay, if there isn't, Marge, would you like to end with, oops, I'll wait for Marge to come back. Yes, Marge, that was what I was going to ask you, Marge. Yes, one round of chanting.
Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare 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 Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srimati Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you so much, Marge. Would like to just make a quick announcement that Marge will be giving class tomorrow morning instead of Thursday. So please, and it will be for our Harrisburg Temple tomorrow, same time, 7 a.m. So we look forward to seeing all of you. And also, Maharaj, unfortunately, I would have to ask Parikshit to host the class tomorrow morning because I have morning DT service. So if you can please tolerate him, Maharaj, I beg for your forgiveness in advance that I'll be
Well-
right on the altar at 7 a.m.
Well, you tolerated it for so many years, so I can do it for an hour.
Thank you, Maharaj. He's a little bit slow, but I'm trying to push him a little bit. But he has about 30 years. 30 long years, Maharaj, but he is.
You're
Thank you,
fortunate.
Maharaj.
You're lucky.
Yeah, I'm trying to make him go a little bit fast, but sometimes he's a little bit, but he's okay so far. Thank you,
like-
March. And we look forward to seeing all of you tomorrow online at 7 a.m. EST for the Bhagavatam class. Until then, Vanchakaptibhyascha, Kripasindhupe eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I wanna just, Sri Devi, did you get my 2 messages?
You're on,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yes, I did get your 2 messages, and I'm just sending you Prime Minister Modi's speech in English.
But the other one about the video.
Yeah, that I have to trace out because it's a forwarded video on WhatsApp. So I have to find out the source and then find out where the actual display came.
Okay, that's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, it was very fantastic. I thought you would really like it. It was
Share it with-
amazing.
Share it with everybody.
Okay, I'll do that, Guru Maharaj. Thank you for encouraging me.
Thank you. All right.
His Holiness Candramauli Swami ki.
Jai.
Jai!
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Anasuya, as always. As always. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
devotee. Hare Krishna.
Hare Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.